Hi, I'm Joe Kleiman, Senior Correspondent for InPark magazine. Today's video was shot on May 5th, 2022, and is comprised of 4 segments, kind of like this.
I think I know what I'm getting.
Alright. I'm doing Vendor's Match. Oh, it's too long.
There's 3 of them.
Wait, where'd she come from? What's that?
Ireland?
In this video, we're going to speak with the Imagineers about the ongoing transformation of Epcot. The park has been undergoing a transformation for a number of decades, and this latest iteration is all about connections, connecting people to people, people to places, people to nature, and even people to Xandarians. In this video, we'll meet with Imagineers at the Connections Cafe, take a look at the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind roller coaster, and we'll start things off right now by meeting on the second floor of Test Track in the GM VIP Lounge with Zach Riddley.
Hi, my name is Zach, and I am the lead Imagineer heading up the Epcot Transformation Project.
All right, and can you tell us, we toured the Connections Cafe earlier, which is one of the newest projects, and we've been on the Guardians coaster a few times.
Great.
What else is coming? What can we look forward to?
Well, as you mentioned, 2 of our upcoming and most recently launched elements of Epcot. And for me, what's really exciting is that this Epcot transformation is one of the largest transformations that we've ever undertaken for a Disney park. So the scale, and it's over multiple years, and what's great is we get to see pieces roll out over time, and we're continuing to see that now. And for me, when I first got into this assignment six years ago almost, one of the first challenges we tackled was how do we bring, what are the kinds of elements we want to bring forward that are unique to Epcot? What is the voice, what is the personality that many fans of Epcot know and love and feel? But how do we bring that and then marry it with folks who maybe haven't experienced Epcot for the first time? And one of our main goals was we want to make Epcot a must-see experience, must-see destination as part of your Walt Disney World visit. And to do that for as many fans as possible, including families. And so when we looked at, again, that unique Epcot storytelling and the types of experiences and the stories that we have available to us, we ended up crafting a collection of things that have been rolling out that we feel like bring not only must-see kind of new types of experiences, but they actually deepen the storytelling that Epcot is uniquely positioned to offer. And for me, the way we talk about it is, Epcot is about the magic of possibility. And the possibility that's inspired us. This is a park about humans, about things that resonate with us. And that underlines and is a thread that runs through all of the storytelling of Epcot.
Now, I noticed going through the Connections Cafe earlier that one of the things about the old Communicore and Interventions, those spaces that existed prior to it, is that they were kind of insular. They were very concrete, very sealed off on the outside. Now they're very open. The seating area goes around the interior kitchen space so that everybody is sitting on the outside with a view of the park, a view of these beautiful gardens out here. How is that going to carry forward with the future developments, especially in the World Celebration area at the center of the park?
Yeah. Well, so you hit it spot on, right? This it's in the name. Connections Cafe and Eatery is all about connections, both physically, meaning I can actually see multiple destinations. I can see into these buildings. They're bright, they're transparent, but I can also, when I'm in that space, I can actually see out into all the destinations in the park. And conceptually, we said, what are the things that makes, again, the unique Epcot storytelling connections is people around the world gathering around food. When having meals together, talking, sharing, that communal time is the thing we're celebrating. And you see that actually captured in one of the largest murals we've ever created, called Global Gathering, which is a 160-foot-long mural that defines the back of that space. But it's part of World Celebration, which is one of the new neighborhoods. It's actually the largest space that we're transforming. And Epcot, the rendering of it here, our goal really is to bring all of those spaces together. So the idea of connection. So we have Connections Cafe here, we have our creation shop, we have a brand new Communicore Hall, which we just announced. as well as Communicore Plaza, which is adjacent to that space. And this is the first purpose-built facility that we've ever created right at the heart of the park for our International Festival program. We also have Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, which is actually in our World Nature neighborhood, which is adjacent to World Celebration. But one of the big ideas, to your point of connection, was that first we wanted to create a place of arrival. So as soon as you enter the park, you actually move under Spaceship Earth, which is both our icon and the gateway into the park, and you actually arrive in this space, which is an elevated plaza called Dreamers Point. And in Dreamers Point, we will have in the future our statue of Walt Disney. And this is the first time we've actually been able to bring Walt into the park that he envisioned. And our inspiration was the Walt of the era where he was dreaming up the original idea of Epcot. And so it'll be a great photo moment. It's a way to capture him as almost our original dreamer. But really the feeling, the tone we want is everybody that comes to this place are dreamers. We're all thinking about what inspires us, what's possible. So he's just one of many dreamers who are in this unique space. Once you pass Dreamers Point, you move down into World Celebration Plaza. And so this is some views that describe what that experience will feel like. This is showing an example with Food and Wine Festival activating the space. So we've got a beautifully landscaped series of gardens and plazas that each festival can be overlaid and take on different characteristics. And that can be everywhere from, we have over 12,000 integrated lights that will also connect to our points of light that's on Spaceship Earth. So this entire space in the evening can take on completely different characteristics: music, lighting, programming. And again, it's both to create a destination, but then we have ways to activate this space. One of our other renderings shows how we think about entertainment as being a primary element that can take place in this space. And so within Communicore Plaza, we actually have multiple different staged venues that have different flexibility that can, all the way from intimate performances that play into World Celebration proper, all the way up to large-scale flexible entertainment installations.
So this new area is called Communicore Plaza, and you've also brought back a lot of the older icons from the park, the pavilion icons, and created new ones which are based on that. How does how are you paying homage to the past while bringing it into the future?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, one of the things that's unique for Epcot is that it has a personality, and that personality is defined in a lot of the designs, the design vocabulary, the textures of the park. It, as most folks of Epcot or fans of Epcot know, had its own font when it opened. It was a really distinct typeface that's used on all the signage. Our team actually brought that font back, actually updated it, created a whole new font family, and then we use that in all the signage. We actually even updated the park logo, the park signage that now it consistently runs across everything that you see, so it has a unified brand that's distinct to that park. But also, when we think about the design textures of the park, it's got amazing music. So when we think about background music and all that kind of the tone that you hear and feel gives you that energy of the park. Spaceship Earth is such a defining feature of the park, and so we've used that timeless geometry of Spaceship Earth as a cue to then create all kinds of different motifs and patterns that we use in a lot of the design, all the way down to the brand new tree grades. We have manhole covers, all these things, and you look closer, you'll see they're all custom designed with this kind of texture of Epcot.
Now, I know that the 1964-65 World's Fair had a big impact on the design of Epcot circa 82. What I see coming in here is very reminiscent of the newer World's Fairs, including the one that just finished in Dubai. Have you used expos as an influence or reference, and what other references and influences have you used?
Yeah, so I mean, for us, we're always inspired, and again, Epcot is a park. It's about what's possible, but it's also about connecting to the world, global community. And so when folks come to this park, I think there's a couple of things that really set it apart. One is, I mentioned the festival programs earlier, so this has become like a defining feature of Epcot. That when I come, depending on the season, I get different types of food, I get different types of experiences, I get different elements of art and decor. And so how that changes in the seasons is not only a defining feature of the experience, so we've now incorporated that into how we design the park. And I think you mentioned expos. I think there's a lot of consistency and how you think about flexibility. So how do you design a place that feels warm, welcoming, that gives you a lot of different ways you can use it and different ways to bring it to life? So those are some of the, both from the technology and also just the techniques, are some of the things that actually have been part of Epcot almost since it was created. But we continue to improve on those elements as we evolve the design.
And this is an evolving process then in terms of the development of Epcot. So this is a decade, if not multi-decade, project that we're looking at?
Well, all of our parks are an ongoing evolution, and Walt had a great quote that we always talk with our team, which about Epcot. He said, "Epcot will always be in a state of becoming." And for us, that's never more true than what you see now. And even this moment, this transformation, we're setting the stage for the next 50 years of this site and this park.
We're here at Epcot in the newly unveiled World Celebration, neighborhood of World Celebration at the heart of the park. And we're at Connections Cafe and Eatery, which is our new fast casual dining establishment that is inspired by the global community and all of the things that we all share in common, shared over food.
And tell us about the mural that stretches in the back here.
So Epcot has a wonderful tradition of using artwork to tell the story of the spaces that you're about to go in or that you're in. And this is a continuation of that. It's this idea of the global fusion, the global community coming together over food. And we have these series of vignettes of different cultures and the global food staples that we all know and are very familiar to us. And we're putting them in context. We're giving you an idea of where they might have come from in the world, as well as the connection over food with a family.
So it seems like a way to kind of merge the old Future World with World Showcase.
Absolutely. I mean, World Showcase is great because it's all about celebrating the things that are unique and interesting about the cultures. And in World Celebration, we're all about all of the things that we have in common, all of those common human traits that we can share and be inspired by together, and that idea of a global community that comes together and inspires each other. All of the ways that someone can make a piece of artwork which inspires a piece of music, which inspires cuisine, and that's what we're about in World Celebration.
And in terms of the design of the facility itself, what would you consider some of the unique aspects?
So I really love what we've gone back to. It's this beautiful fusion of taking back the tradition of the architecture and looking forward into the future. So we've taken back this idea of the views to the outside. We're outward looking again, which is wonderful. We have this floor-to-ceiling glazing, which we've been talking about. And now as we start to unveil more about the Epcot transformation, we're talking about what you're going to see beyond that. So we're going to have these beautiful gardens, Dreamer's Point with Walt sitting there, looking out into the new Festival Center, Communicore Plaza. And part of that, we wanted to make sure that when you were sitting in these spaces, you didn't have this juxtaposition that felt jarring between the interior and the exterior. So we wanted to make sure the finishes in these buildings had this beautiful, warm, neutral feel. We have the woods, we have all of the beautiful plaster, this organic tile that felt like a continuation of the finishes that we're going to have naturally in nature, which you already starting to see as you sit in the new dining areas. You see spaceship Earth, you see the monorail, but you also get all of the beautiful gardens, which we're continuing to add to Epcot.
Are there design elements here in the restaurant that tie in with the heritage of Future World and Epcot?
Yeah, of course, we've got the continuation of the radial plan that is so inherent to Epcot. We're a continuation of that spoke off the center. We have beautiful light wells that you saw those in Creation Shop. We have them here in Connections Cafe and Eatery. We also have some really wonderful Epcot DNA pieces. So along with our beautiful mural, part of the art program, we have these really nice nods back to the original master plans for Epcot as flooring inlays, which were done using 3D printing technology, which was really cool to see go in and to come to fruition. And they live in this space that some of them are even situated so that the maps that they're representing are true to the cardinal directions that they're showcasing.
So in a typical restaurant, you'll have the kitchen on one end, the dining on the other. What I've noticed is you have a central kitchen facility with the dining wrapping around it. How did that come about, and what is the impact on the diners?
Well, again, it's this idea of the best guest experience. So again, looking outward, we want to make sure we're all connecting with each other, connecting with the park. So instead of taking this space has all these beautiful windows and making it enclosed and looking interior, we wanted all the seating to be on the outer area, to be outward looking. And that works well for this idea of connections and as well as we're sharing Starbucks. It's the Eatery on this side, and it works well from a circulation point of view. Guests can come in, walk all the way around. All of our seating is inside and air conditioned, which is amazing. It's a great thing for guest comfort, as well as them being able to explore all of the different show kitchens that we have, connect with the people making the food. It's great.
So a couple more questions. What has been done for people, pardon me, for people with accessibility issues in the restaurant? How are they being accommodated? And also, is this a LEED certified construction?
I'm not the right person to ask about LEED certified, but I know that we've worked a lot to make sure things were sustainable. Our floor actually is a biopolymer terrazzo, which is really neat. So you can take it, roll it up, and make it again, which is really cool. As far as guests with disabilities or accessibility, we really want to make sure that there's spaces that are open for them, that the tables have a way for everyone to be included. We want to make sure signage is correct. And it's something that, as a team, it's important to us to work towards. We're not perfect, but we're always trying. And I think that in the industry, we see a lot of people doing that. And I'm excited to have gotten to work with so many different designers who are so passionate about making sure that what we're doing is an experience for all the senses, for everyone to enjoy. And it's important to us to keep trying to achieve that.
Okay, we're here with Evan Miga, the art director on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Congratulations on the ride. It is crazy. That's probably the best explanation I can give about it. So we, of course, are InPark magazine. We're a trade publication for themed entertainment design industry, so I want to kind of cover from that angle. One of the things that we're looking at is that this is a pavilion that starts off almost as a World's Fair pavilion, which is a great fit for the legacy of Epcot.
Absolutely.
And then something goes awry.
Yeah.
When creating the queue, what decisions were made in terms of the progression of the queue and the elements of it?
Well, it's all about telling the story of Xandar from their perspective. So when I would say your experience even starts outside of the pavilion. So this is the first Otherworld Showcase pavilion at Epcot. When you arrive, you see the Star Blaster out front, this giant spaceship, and that was gifted to Terra by Xandarians as a message of peace through understanding. So that's outside. That was an actual vehicle that would have been involved in the Battle of Xandar. So they put it here on display. So it's all about telling that story through Xandar's perspective. The exhibit, the pavilion, is called The Wonders of Xandar. So it's all about their culture, the people, and their technology that they want to share with Terra. So when you enter into the pavilion, you're going to get a wide view of Xandar and its place in the universe. So you'll see our Galaxarium, which is an overhead kind of planetarium style show, and you'll see differences of Andromeda and the Milky Way and how our two planets and galaxies are more similar than we think. We're all born from the same stardust. As you proceed through the exhibit, you'll come into the Gallery of Xandar, which is where we are now. So you'll get to learn about the people of Xandar, you'll get to learn about the city of Xandar. Behind me, there's a really great model of the city of Xandar, where you get to see how the city works, how Xandarians get around, their different cultural centers. Then you proceed through and learn about the Nova Corps. And the Nova Corps are a big part of Xandarian culture. They're the protectors of the peace, so sort of like a military arm of the defensive force of Xandar. And then, after that, you learn about the Guardians of the Galaxy and how they helped Xandar in the Battle of Xandar. So they came in and helped save the planet. So they are the heroes of Xandar, and they're celebrated in this gallery.
So three-dimensionality appears to be an important aspect of this attraction, from the dome projection to, I mean, we're looking at a model behind you that has projection mapping.
Right.
And then throughout the gallery, there are multiple layers of screens, and actually going into the pre-show as well. How important was it to have that element of this three-dimensional aspect?
Yeah, so that is, in the end of our attraction, you're going to be transported to a Nova Corps vessel. The visual language of Epcot, of being at Epcot, is very different than when you're on the spaceship. So everything in here is it's very much about the textures. It's about the materials. Everything is curved. It's gray, and every color you kind of see is brought in through lighting. So it's very much in lighting. And there's this holographic look to this side of the attraction. And you'll notice that there's a lot of lavenders, blues, cool colors. When you get transported up onto that Nova Corps vessel, everything's going to go copper. The angles are going to get sharp. There's no holograms. Everything's very much like a utility screen showing you what's going on. So the whole visual language and style will let you know that, well, I'm not on Earth anymore. I'm in outer space.
So it's very similar to, say, Runaway Railroad or even Rise of the Resistance, in that once you reach a different point, the color and the style scheme is completely different.
Sure. Yeah, it's a really important part of telling the story. Is you're in a brand new space and a brand new location and in a spaceship.
Considering that we are in the old Universe of Energy building, is there anything that's included as an homage or a hidden Easter egg that we should keep an eye out for?
Absolutely. We love that old attraction. Of course, the building remains the same on the exterior. There's definitely some fun stuff in the media, especially when you see Peter Quill talking about his favorite attractions when he was a kid, and he can't wait to come back and ride the universe dinosaur ride. But then also in the graphics, if you pay attention to some of the icons on the wall or on the ride vehicles, you'll see old Universe of Energy logos. You'll see some Xandarian text on the wall that might say something that kind of harkens back to the old attraction.
So the development cycle was about 7 years from inception to delivery. How many iterations did the project go through?
Quite a few. Actually, I've been on the project for 5 of those 7, so I joined up later on. It was really interesting to see it kind of take shape. A lot of these attractions, you get this high-level view of something, and it's over the years, it just becomes more focused until all the details are fleshed out, and everything's there. So.
And your advice for people riding the coaster? We've done it twice. We've done front row. We've done back row.
Yeah.
What is the best row in your opinion?
In my opinion, I absolutely love the back car, front seat of that car. And that's because we have a backwards launch. And when you're in the back seat, you are actually going to get a great view of that launch. And there's also... So the coaster has this amazing drifting feeling as you move through, because it's an omni coaster and we can point it at different points of media and different points of interest. And there's a point at the coaster when, if you're in the back seat, the train sort of pulls it over certain humps and it gives you more of like a fluttery feeling in your stomach. And to me, I love that the most. You also get a little bit more show, that you linger on things a little bit longer. But that's not to say that's the best for everybody. That's just the best for me. If you ask more people...
So when people ride, they should do multiple times at multiple locations.
Multiple times, multiple locations. You'll get multiple songs.
And of course, with the multiple soundtrack,
Yeah.
There's a different song every time you ride, so it's highly repeatable.
Right, and it's a different mood for the different songs. So you could be in the back car and have, let's say, Disco Inferno, and then you could be in the back car and have Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and it's like a totally different feeling when you get off, but absolutely fun.
Okay, so this is our third ride on the coaster. I've done it in the back, I've done it in the front, and now you're going to ride with me. Let's get on board. For more information on the transformation of Epcot, join InPark's Martin Palicki and Jordan Zuha on the latest edition of InPark Tracks, the official InPark Magazine podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the InPark Magazine website.